Good morning and welcome to Class with Coco. I go by the name of Classy Coco and welcome to my channel. Today I'll just be doing a quick video to talk about who you are. So I just wanted to say that everything that I do say is a theory. However, on this subject today, this is reality. So listen closely and listen deep. You are a human being, which I'm sure you're aware of. But beyond the physical, beyond the flesh, lies the intricacies of who you really are. And everything in this world has come about as a result of the study of human beings. And so we're going to talk about computers today. You are a computer. Let me rephrase that. Your body is a system. Within that system is your brain. Beyond the brain is your mind, which is intangible, meaning that it cannot be touched nor seen. And your mind is the product of who you are. Your mind and your brain together combined is the computer that runs your system. When someone loses their mind, they have no control over their system. And so I will use that analogy to explain how you can better yourself and change your mindset, thus changing the frequency that you're on. Let's talk about computers, because sometimes you have to go back to the basics in order to learn what you need to learn about, which is you. Think about how a computer runs and you'll be able to understand yourself a lot more. A computer has many components. And I'm not an IT specialist, so I'm just going to briefly talk about some of the components and how it makes you who you are in relation to a human being. You have the hardware of the computer, which in relation to yourself is your brain. And then you have the programs which are within that computer. And these programs in relation to the human being are the programs that you operate off, which is your mind, how you think, what you do. In this world, you have to be very mindful of what you take in via your five senses, because those things are what create your programs. We have been programmed from a very young age, depending on where you were born, depending on your religion, depending on what you were surrounded with, will determine the baseline of your functioning and what programs you run. As you get older, you're able to take control of that programming by filtering all the information which you intake via what you listen to, via what you watch, which in turn, without you knowing it, influences what you do. And so it's very blatant what television, films, programs are about. In fact, programs are actually called programs because you're watching something and unconsciously your mind is taking in ideas from what you're watching. What you watch and what you choose to do in your spare time and learn about then becomes a program. So just like a computer, a disk, or some sort of download information is supplied to that computer, which is a program. And that program informs the computer of what to do and how to do it. And then the computer runs the programs within that system and undertakes the tasks that the program has given it. A computer's program can be deleted and changed depending on what you want the computer to do. So for yourself, you have the ability to change your mindset and to change the way your mind functions, just like a computer. You have to be accountable and responsible for everything that you intake and filter that information according to your goals and who you wish to be, your ideal self. Computers are capable of doing so much. The most intricate processes. Computers can also be used to play games. So how would you want to use your mind? Would you want your mind to be a computer that plays games, or a computer that partakes in important actions and deals with important information? When you realize that you are able to change who you are and how you think via the information that you take in from this world, you will become more responsible for what you surround yourself with. And I'm talking the people that you surround yourself with, the things that you watch, and so on and so forth. Now, you can still watch certain things that are fun and not just strictly filled with new data, new information for you to learn from. But you have to first become conscious of the fact that everything that you watch, see, and learn is able to influence you and add to or subtract from the programs that you already have. And so, being conscious of this factor will allow you to see through the information that you are partaking in. And thus, you'll be able to filter that information and consciously decline to take on board that programming or information. I'm trying to explain myself as best as possible. But the reason why I have chosen to make this video comparing yourself as a system to a computer is because a computer is the closest comparison that I can get to use to explain how you can use your brain and your mind. Without programming, a computer will be blank. And like I've said before, we are being programmed every day, fine-tuned at that. Your beliefs have a strong influence on the information that you choose to hold on to and navigate the world by. And so you have to know and be aware of the fact that your mind is something that can be unruly if you are not trying to take control of it. Not everything you think is reality unless you accept it as reality. And so you're able to not accept things that do not offer a conducive path to who you want to be. And not only that, you can choose who you want to be. There are biological factors that disturb this process because you are a soul and you are an individual and unique, unlike a computer that is man-made. However, you are able to add new programming to yourself that will enable you to raise your frequency based on how you think, and that is governed by the information that you take in. And when you're able to raise your frequency, you will be eligible to match the frequency of more higher information, because your system, your computer, your mind is ready to do so. You cannot give somebody information when they are on a lower level of frequency. And I use the word lower level quite loosely because I'm not here to judge anyone. Everyone is on their own vibe. However, if you do want to be able to access the collective consciousness at a higher level, thus receiving higher levels of information, then these are the steps that you need to take. You cannot just be living for fun and focusing on just the physical aspects of this world when we are spiritual beings, energetic by nature. And there is so much more that meets the eye to us as human beings. So, the main point of this video is that you should learn about how a computer operates, relate that to your brain and your mind, and realize that just like a computer can be changed, the programming and so on and so forth, so can you update your system via the information that you take in. That's all I wanted to say today. I hope you're all doing well. And I hope you all are striving to be the best version of yourself that you can be. Have a good day, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye.